why are these medications so expensive, as we were talking about earlier? Like where insurance has to be the only means to get them. Why? Right? That's one where you're just like,
I'll tell you why. It's the same situation that Russia and the US were in the Cold War, mutual assured destruction. So, pharma companies price their drugs high because they're worried about the future. They're worried about generics. They're worried about failure in the marketplace after it's approved, like Vioxx. They're worried about unexpected events that will decrease their activity in the future.
ah,
So they price them very high. Why? Because the healthcare sector, unlike every other sector of the economy, has no futures market.
how do you
It
mean?
has no derivative market. Why does that matter? A farmer planting wheat sells that wheat when he plants it, and he knows exactly what he's
Oh,
going to
wow, I
get.
see what you're saying.
The pharma company has no place to hedge their
It's
failure.
what they make
Now,
right now.
they're only half the Cold War though. The other half of the Cold War are the payers. And the payers are worried that there's going to be a new cure that costs more than they want to spend this year, and they have no way of bringing those savings into the present from the future.
Uh,
So in hepatitis C, 20 grand a year to treat you the rest of your life. So if you get it at 40, think about it. 40, you go to 76 average life, 36 years times 20 grand. Sovaldi came along, and instead of 20 grand, it said, we will cure that patient for 60 grand. What did the insurance companies do? Did they say, thank goodness I invested in an index that tracks the cost of treating hepatitis C because that index just went up by 3x and I made a lot of money that I can now use to buy the drug? That's not what they said because it didn't exist.
right,
What they said was, we will not pay for this drug until you're on the liver transplant list, which means you're going to die
right,
if you don't get a liver. So if you don't have a place to hedge economically, you hedge non economically, in this case, immorally. So it just so happens, as you can tell, that I've been thinking about this for a long time. And I'm working with my business partner who's thought about this for 25 years to build a healthcare futures market. A few facts that you
you
don't
can actually
know.
build it.
We're actually building this, yes. This is going to be a reality next year. So think about this. We spend $450 billion on oil every year. The derivative market, where people buy and sell the future, is $650 billion,
Right,
right? So when oil prices spike, people make money and other people lose money because they made a bet on the future price.
right,
But when it goes down, people make money too. Nobody makes money in healthcare when prices go down,
right.
right? Nobody. So think about this. Migraines. You probably don't think about migraines much. The money we spend on migraine drugs in this country is equal to the money we spend on wheat. Think about that. The money we spend on oil is equal to the money we spend on diabetes. But unlike oil or interest rates or climate change or the weather or crypto, we don't have a futures market in
It helps the
healthcare,
most.
so nobody can hedge. And that's why prices are so high. If the pharma company had a place to hedge decreasing sales, they could get the same margin for a lower price. If the insurance company had a place to hedge rising costs of drugs that cure you, then they would make those drugs available,
Right.
right?
You found the solution.